Hello my dear friends. The title of our video is Discerning Visions from God. Today it's very important that what we receive as a vision from God is actually from God and not from the egoic phenomena. And I say this to you in love because I get so many messages from emails, from clients, from well-wishers saying that they've had a message from Metatron, that they're channels for the archangels and their guides, even their Jesus, not our Jesus, but the message that comes to me always said, this message is from my Jesus. And the language that's used is not a language that Jesus uses. It is not of love. It is impersonal. And there is an agenda behind the message, and it reeks of control. But first, dear friends, I need you to know that I am not giving you a seminar, and nor is this discourse about having a go at you or any one person, but just to raise your awareness that for those who are Christian, like myself, that you listen to the words of the Master Jesus, because he said, many will come after me, pretending to be me and to speak from me. And they are not me, but they are false prophets, wolves in sheep's clothing. And only recently I was given a copy of quite a credible Mind, Body, Spirit magazine called Kindred Spirit. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Some really good articles on eco-living, which we, the Franciscan community, are very much into. That's part of the vision from Francis, eco-sustainable as a lay monastic community for men and women. But also, there is such a surge in mediums, tarot readers, and lots of so-called gurus selling their wares and their lotions and potions. And what I felt in my heart was a deep sadness, a disquiet in fact, that many were offering the panacea of all ills. Many were offering to be the best healers and channelers going, and that their courses were the course to do. I have to say this, I am not a healer. I am a channel, a conduit in service to God. God is the healer, not Brother Sean. But I need to share with you a lovely quote from the Voice of Spirit. It's the spirituality of St. John of the Cross, a great friend of Teresa of Avila, the great Spanish mystic, one of my greatest heroines. And her spirituality, for me, is common sense. It's achievable. And her book, The Interior Castle, by Caroline Myss, I truly endorse. I very rarely endorse books, but this is one book that I would truly welcome you to take on board. But here, this is what John of the Cross is saying. I am aghast at what is going on these days. A person with almost no knowledge of meditation, aware during recollection of something in the nature of a locution or an expression, at once christens it as coming from God. God said this to me. God answered me. It is quite untrue. Usually such persons are talking to themselves. But this is what he says: intellectual visions are more clear and more subtle than those which pertain to the body. For when God grants such a vision, he bestows upon the soul a supernatural light, whereby it sees the things God wills it to see, easily and clearly, whether they be of heaven or of earth. Nor is the absence or presence of these things a hindrance to the vision. Sometimes it is as though a door were flung open so wide, and the soul is aware of an illumination after the manner of a flash of lightning, which on a dark night suddenly reveals objects, so that they can be seen distinctly, then plunges them in darkness, though their shapes and appearances may remain in the memory. Words and visions coming from God may be true and reliable, and yet we ourselves be deluded through our inability to interpret these in the sublime and important sense, which is the purpose and the meaning intended by God. And so the safest and surest course is to encourage people to be prudent and to flee from supernatural phenomena. This will accustom them to a purity of spirit in that darkness of faith which is our means of being united with God. My heart is guided to share this with you, because recently I was given several messages saying that they were from Jesus. And there was an inner disquiet, and I felt I had to pray, reflect, and discern. And in another video we talk about testing and challenging God for the truth, because we have to be on our guard. We have to be ever watchful and mindful that though many profess to say they love God and speak in God's name, if their heart is not aligned to God's will for them, then they offer God lip service, and that the message is not from God. So I would advise you, my dear brothers and sisters, try to discourage those who say they come in the name of God from taking on board what they say until you have tested the waters, and that you know that this person is not looking for a groupie or a disciple to feed their ego. And that is why so many innocent, vulnerable, spiritual seekers of truth latch onto, yes they do, they latch onto people who pretend or pretend to be a messenger of God. I don't profess to be any such thing. I've had my eyes wide open to false prophets. I have been taken in by several of them because I was afraid to challenge God as a Catholic Christian. But God expects me to challenge God when there is something that doesn't quite resonate within your spirit. And if you are what you say you are, then there is no problem. And those who go running after mediums for messages from their guides, that is sad. And then we have the other extreme, the New Age brigade, who worship angels instead of realizing that they are a messenger of God and that they do speak from God, but always test the waters. Because I was deceived 8 years ago when I wrote my first book. I was guided to do it, called Angelic Energy. And one of the messages from the Archangel Michael was not from Michael. But at first, I didn't really understand. But then I was guided under the laws of karma to challenge 3 times. And I did. And I discovered to my horror, it was an entity pretending to be the Archangel Michael. So I would say to you, dear friends, discerning visions from God are as essential as cleaning your teeth. You need to test the waters of faith. That's not discrediting God. That's showing that you are genuine and that you are a true messenger of God. Namaste, Shalom.